And here is the race map for the Ironwoman, Cottesloe to Scarborough, Nicole, 11.4 kilometres.
Yeah, it'll be a tough race, but thankfully they will have a tailwind as they come along to Scarborough. So 1.8 kilometre board, then they'll come out and they'll do a 3.6 kilometre run, a 1,000-metre swim, and then a 5 kilometre surf ski. So it's going to be a tough course for these girls.
All downwind though today, which is nice for the girls. A south-easter at the moment, which blows down the course. As we see the series leader, Crystal Smith, getting ready. Probably not her ideal format, but she will be going flat out in this race.
A little bit of local knowledge for Candice Felson, having lived here for 2.5 years during her surf life-saving career.
Look for Geordie Mercer today in the pink, as we just saw going past. This race will suit her. And there's Courtney Hancock now. She makes...
Wearing pink.
Yeah, indeed. And not the black that she had on the previous race.
Elizabeth Plume is starting off. She will be on the board leg. She's very, very confident on that. You may expect her to lead early on in this race.
The good news for her as we go to the rundown here, and Courtney Hancock in 1. Plume is right next to us. Smith, Northern, Richardson's going well. Creedy's fit. She'll go well today as well.
And Guy, you think some of the young girls might pick up here? Kellyanne Perkins, Danielle Allen in particular, as we see the final 5 competitors, right down to Tennille Devine and Hayley Bate up. So you think the young girls are a chance here?
Yeah, Danielle Allen and Kellyanne Perkins, they're suited to this type of style of racing.
Set for a start in Perth, Western Australia for the Endurio. 11.4 kilometres await these Ironwomen in pretty good conditions. Not as hot as it's been in WA for the last 4 days. Expecting a top of 34 rather than the 43 we had yesterday. We go board, run, swim and ski from Cottesloe up to Scarborough Surf Club.
Well, as we thought already, Liz Plumers is really trying to make some inroads. She's on the yellow board there wearing the yellow cosy, but a couple of the girls just missed the pickup on the board. It's an all-important thing at the start, isn't it?
One of the girls actually fell over. It's not a good start when you're going all the way down the coast. 11.4 kilometres. Now, what Plumers is going to try to do is she's going to get to that first turning buoy, and when she turns, then the wind will be in her back. And with the wind in her back, she's going to have the chop, the swell going with her, Howie, and she's going to make a run for it there. The perfect conditions for her are the conditions right now, because she can actually go on the board her best leg, and when she turns this buoy here, she's going to have the wind behind her, and then she's going to try and scoot away from the rest of the field.
She was saying to me earlier on that she wanted a windy day and she wanted a day like this so the girls couldn't wash ride her, because she said the run is her least favoured leg, and there's no wash riding to be done on the run, so she hopes the girls can't basically pull off the back of her like a cyclist.
That's right, yeah. Wash riding is that ability to get in behind someone and get a free drag. You know, Nick, you know that in swimming in the open water, you can get in behind someone's feet, and they do the work, and you get a little bit of a drag, which sort of saves 15-20%. So the girls, as you see now, are flying. That's Creedy lying down on the board there. Most of the girls are actually kneeling, and kneeling you can actually get all your weight forward and really power your way through the chop.
The other one that's putting in some good strokes to start is Elise Bennett. Now, in the last round, she finished 3rd, so you'll watch for her in a green and black costume. She's the closest to the bottom of the screen there on a red board, so she's actually really starting to show some good form in this Ironwoman.
Yeah, she's got fitness, and I think she's also got a good amount of just positiveness through having some good results, isn't she? And, you know, she actually believes now that she can do what she needs to do and be up the front, and that goes a long way in these endurance style races. Chatting to the athletes yesterday at the briefing, the one thing I did say was you need to keep yourself. Now, Geordie Mercer on the screen there, she's the world champion over distance board paddling, believe it or not. She went to Hawaii and raced an event from Molokai Island, get this, to Oahu, which is 50 kilometres if you go straight.
You write down your goals and different things, and I had my heart set on the Molokai, and I've really changed my focus to this year's series. But a lot of the older girls are still telling me I'm so young and I've got a lot of years left in the sport, but I do have a fair bit of pressure on myself that I really want to win.
And hello to Geordie's little cousin, her #1 fan, Braden. He'll be tuning in, no doubt about that. Leachy, 4 or 5 hours on the paddleboard at Molokai. How would one do such a thing?
I've done it on a surf ski, and sitting is a much better position than kneeling and lying, and certainly, you know, not a comfortable craft to be on, Nick. And she just, you know, it's testimony to a young kid or a young athlete's mind to be so positive, to get through that race and win in her first attempt.
I tell you what I'd like to see her doing in the Ironwoman a little bit more, though, is just relaxing and believing in herself. And I've had this conversation with Darren. She does, as she just said there, put a lot of expectation on herself. And you know, as an athlete, when you start to think of the result, which is expectation, I want to finish in this particular place, you tighten up. You know, as soon as an athlete starts to focus on the result rather than what they need to do, the process, they start to tighten up.
I think at the end of the day, Susan, she's just on the just peered into the screen there. So that's Plumas out on the right, but that is Geordie Mercer on the left, and it is no doubt after winning the World Championships over distance paddling that she is up there. And you know what? The run leg suits her today. The swim leg is where it will decide whether she can win or lose today. And the swim leg, when she's tired, is not her best leg.
Nicole, I hate to say it, you're starting to sound like an AFL coach talking about structures and processes,
no.
Nicole. You're driving around the twist.
Only because I spoke to Darren about it, and he said, you know, she just needs to do it. She needs to just not think about it and believe in the work that she's done, and almost go into that robotic mode where you do what you know you can do without really thinking about it.
I mean, she has got age on her side. I mean, she's got a lot of years left, and you know, I think she should just enjoy it. I mean, the reason why all the kids do this is because they just love it. And, you know, just do it with a smile on your face. And certainly the pain doesn't feel as bad when you're positive and you feel good.
Oh, there's Candice Felson as well on the yellow board. She's local knowledge, which is great. As I said, she spent a couple of years here. I think she was going out with one of the West Coast Eagles, wasn't she, Howie, at that time?
She was, Brent Staker. She now goes out with Maddie Poole, and I'm not big on the Twitter, Nicole, but by gee, they declare their love to each other 8 times an hour.
Is that like Shane Warne and Liz Hurley? Maybe they're the Iron Man version of an Iron Woman version of those two.
I must be old-fashioned, but every time I log onto it, it's love you, darling, miss you, babe, see you again. What do you reckon, Nick?
Oh, get up with technology, Howie. Howie.com. Come on, surely you're tweeting by now.
Geordie Mercer is leading them out. As Guy said, she paddled for 5 hours at Molokai. Elizabeth Plumas has started very well. Leachy, you can tell us a little about these runners. The girls really pushing over the front of it. It's like catching a little wave to the beach continually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going on a little ride, you know, and the stronger the wind gets, and the wind at the moment, south-southeast, about 13 knots, peaking at 18 knots, to be exact. I've got that on my phone, the iPhone, you know, the little app. But by going downwind, it just means you go much faster. So normally, in flat conditions, these guys would be paddling at about 7, 8 kilometres an hour. At the moment, downwind, they're probably going up to 12 or 13 kilometres an hour. So it's much, much faster.
And there is Courtney Hancock. Race 1, a victory. Race 2, a victory. Race 3 in Newcastle. She was eliminated in the first. She finished in 19th position. She's 3rd overall, though. She's battling away in the Iron Women. It is Cottesloe to Scarborough. 11.4 kilometres. This is the Enduro.
Howie, thanks for asking.
Did Trev pull out that week?
No, Trev was in there, but Trev was young back in 1986, and I just happened to just squeeze him out.
Back to the Iron Women, and Elizabeth Plumas, as Guy Leach predicted, she is leading out on the board. It's her strongest leg. Looks like Geordie Mercer is punching along in 2nd position. She'd be a nice place to live on a few of those houses. The girls heading from Cottesloe slowly north up to Scarborough on the board leg. Next up, they have a 3.6k run on what could be soft sand on a bit of a slope, so it's a tough day. That
one's good for Geordie Mercer. Geordie Mercer being such a good runner. She's so athletic and lean, and that run leg, which is quite a tough run leg in that it's very, very like undulating, soft sand on the edge there. It's quite slushy, and because of that, you really need to be a good runner.
So we're seeing Candice Felson in 3rd, and we're also seeing Crystal Smith in the black costume in 4th.
There's Courtney.
There's Courtney.
Courtney in pink.
Nikki Chapman really stroking fast up there.
Short rating there, not reaching
Oh, it's
out.
actually Kellyanne Perkins.
It is. Now we'll look for her today. She is a dynamite runner. Her and
fast.
Danielle Allen. Well, she's got short levers.
Yeah.
She's only got short arms, and by having those type levers, you've got a rate high. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is.
Does a girl take that as a compliment? She's got short levers.
It just is what it is.
Geordie Mercer, though, she is rounding the final count. It's been a 1.8 kilometre board, 11.4k in total. She's heading into the beach. Nicole, the transition's always important, even in a marathon-style event like this one.
Absolutely. You don't want to lose anything. And really, for someone like Liz Plumas, she's under the pump now. She wanted to be ahead in this board paddle. She's up against someone who holds a world record for a long endurance board paddling race. So it was always going to be tough if Geordie found her form. But you would think that Liz, being probably not as good a runner as Geordie, it becomes a psychological game, doesn't it?
Well, I'm sure Liz wanted to get to the beach first. I mean, we won't forget about the pedigree of Jordan Mercer. She scuttles on the beach. She's built like a greyhound. She can go. She's very muscular, lean, doesn't hold any fat on her body at all, as you see her run past. Look at that pace. That soft spinner there. I was there yesterday, and that soft is really, really soft. As Darren, her father, and an Ironman champion of the past. I think he won the Kelloggs Nutri-Grain series 6 times. Darren Mercer, and you know, he's in great form with Liz Plumer's hot on her heels, and Candice Fowson and Courtney Hancock coming out of the water as well. There's also there's Fowson running up the beach. She's a good runner as well, so look for her.
Crystal.
And the series leader.
There's Crystal Smith and Courtney Hancock. Crystal was saying she was going to go into the run leg, pretending it was the final leg of the race. That's what she said. She'd do everything to get in someone's footsteps, pretend it was the end, and push herself as hard as she could.
You talk about Geordie Mercer being a lean athlete, but I've been watching Crystal for about 15 years now, and she looks as in good a form as I've ever seen her in terms of her body shape.
Indeed, she's certainly one that's leaned right down. Done a lot of swimming. Swimming, as you know, Nick, in the pool does lean you down with all the other work you do, and she's much better athlete than last year.
Emailed her during the week, Nicole, and she told me one of her favourite moments as a youngster growing up was getting a very special autograph as a 14-year-old. You know who it was?
Well, I was in Cronulla at that time, so I'm hoping that maybe it was me.
It was you, Nicole. She emailed me and said she got you may have had a different name back then, but she got your autograph and still talks about it to this day.
She grew up on those Cronulla beaches, so I lived in Cronulla and trained at Caringbah Pool for a very long time. Really, that's really nice.
Geordie Mercer continues to lead the field in the Ironwoman race. The Enduro, she's taken on as much fluid as she can. Expected a top of 36 degrees today. She has got a wonderful running style, and if you ever want to get motivated to get fit, go to an athlete's briefing and sit in a room with 42 of these people and you come out pretty flat, Nicole, to be honest.
What are you asking me for?
I come out very flat.
Nick's been in the gym with me every time I've been away, Howie. Every time, 6 a.m, she's in the gym with me working out.
Thank you very much, Guy. There's Liz Plumer's. She's also got some fluid tucked into the top of the cosy there. Some of the girls will also carry just some carbo shots.
That'll be electrolytes that she's got there. So the water is something that's on the course right through. So the water you drink, and you drink it as much as you can as we go through a water station there with Events Corp. And thank you to Events Corp. The government have paid us to come here for the next 3 years. And what great shots we're seeing there of the coastline, those aerial shots of the runners. What a beautiful place. The green water is just amazing.
Geordie Mercer continues along, relentlessly pounding the sand and the surf in the Ironwomen race from Perth, Western Australia. Cottesloe to Scarborough. She is leading the run. She's completed the board. She's got the swim and the ski to go. And she's nearing the transition area where Hayden Quinn finds himself.
Howie, that's right. We're down here at the transition area. I can just see Geordie Mercer coming up to us now. She's looking very strong. And from the last time I saw Liz Plumer's, she's really gapped Liz. She's put a big distance between us. And also Courtney Hancock, who's probably another 100 to 120 metres behind Liz Plumer's. So she's getting her cap on now. She's ready to get into that swim. So she's going to have to work with these little runs and keep extending this lead she's got herself. And
Geordie, Mark and Guy will choose to wear goggles because it is a swim along the coastline here at the beautiful Western Australian coastline in Perth. She will choose to put goggles on there.
Yeah, Nick, we've laid the boys out on the course.
Who's that fella in the back of shot?
I don't know, but he's getting beaten by the girls.
Is that Trevor Hendy?
Poor old punter. He's come out for a Sunday morning run. He thinks he's in good nick. He's come up against
17, 18-year-olds going past him as if he's not moving.
20 of the fittest women in the country. And Geordie Mercer's not too worried about him. She's moving through the transition area. As we talked about, it's been very hot here. It's an early start in the west, 3 hours before East Standard Time. And she's just completed the Reno run leg. She's 29 minutes in.
Go, girl.
And away she goes. Go, girl, indeed.
Well, the Orologio timing piece tells us that they are around halfway through the course. I estimated about an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes for this course, but I'm thinking more like an hour because of the wind. The wind going with them. I'm thinking that they're going to do it a lot quicker.
How's our punter going? Is he doing all right?
Gone. Gonski.
There's a dog in the field as well in front of Elizabeth Plumer's Hayden. Great to see the girls running through a large crowd.
That's it, Howie. Very large crowd down here today. The girls have got a lot to contend with. Dogs, a little earlier on, we had a bit of a interesting atmosphere on the beach, but the girls are handling it all right. Here comes Liz Plumer's. She is looking strong. She's going to have to work hard to catch Geordie, but she knows these points that she's going to have to win today. She wants to keep up that position in the series.
Hayden, you describe it as interesting conditions down there. Was there a couple of wing keels down there, to use a swimming or maybe a boat term?
Nick, there were some interesting characters on the beach earlier on, very similar to what we saw last week when Guy Leach popped up on a poster in our screen.
A lot of people wouldn't realise, Hayden, but the course does go through a nudist area. Were you required to get your kit off as you travelled through there?
I managed to keep it on, but I would have been surprised if Leachy was in the truck with us. He may have got his gear off.
Listen, Hayden, you look pretty good too, mate. You can rip your gear off anytime.
I did see Hayden yesterday for our briefing, and he had his shirt off. So he has been hanging out with you a bit too long, by
He's in the gym a fair bit, Hayden, and he's looking quite good, may I say. You too, Howard. You can probably rip your gear off, maybe.
So Kellyanne Perkins getting into the water there. Candice Falzon just behind her. Look at the transition here. Falzon is on a mission.
So those girls are in equal third position at this stage, behind Geordie Mercer in first position, Elizabeth Plumers in second. Keep an eye out for the black cozzy of Crystal Smith, the series leader. Haven't seen her come into the swim area as yet, so she'll be doing everything she can to hold on at this point. She comes in.
That was Brodie Moyer, and also Hayley Bader. What a great
silver
run.
Hair. So look, she is really only at half fitness with the amount of injury she's got. It's just testimony to her toughness that she's anywhere near the front. But the question is, can Geordie Mercer, with her swim leg being her weak leg, can she hang on and stay in front of Plumers going to that ski leg? So the race is on. You've got Plumers, who has got such a strong swim ski legs, coming up against Geordie Mercer, and her best legs are the board and the run. So she's gone out, and she should go out in those two legs, so they're the favourites for her. But it is a cat and mouse game now with Plumers, the heavyweight in the sport, someone who's so strong, with Courtney Hancock coming at the youngster.
11.4 kilometres in total. They've done the 1.8k board. They've done the 3.6k swim. They're into the 1,000-metre effort now. Plenty still to come from Scarborough Beach in WA. Welcome back to the Ironwomen from Perth, Western Australia. Geordie Mercer, she led by 58 seconds at the start of the swim. That lead has been cut by Elizabeth Plumers down to about 30 seconds. Back further in the field, though, Crystal Smith, our series leader, there she is. She's had a third, and a first last week at Newcastle. She leads the series. She said she's not worried about the series. She just wants to finish top 3 in all the events. Currently, though, she is in 15th position. Let's hear from Crystal Smith.
I'm quietly confident going into this race. I don't like to put too much pressure on myself when I'm racing, so you know, I like to sort of joke around before the rounds and just have a bit of a laugh. But it could be my year. You know, I'm fingers crossed. I've trained really hard. I've trained probably harder than I ever have in the past, and you know, I'm doing more swimming, more running, more ski paddling, and just playing it smart. And yeah, maybe it's my lucky 13.
Well, the technique looks beautiful out there swimming. She has the ability, as all the girls do, as they swim along the coast here at Perth, to actually get into some really nice strokes. You see a nice high elbow technique from Crystal. She's dragging her legs, which is good. She's keeping them to balance her stroke, but every now and again you'll see just a flutter of a 6-beat kick, obviously saving herself when she needs to lift up.
The problem she's got is she went way back in the run leg, so she was in about 6th, 7th spot, and that's just one of the competitors trying to work out where the next boy is. It's really hard when you're out in chop to work out where you're going. But Crystal back in about probably back 6th, back 7th of the field. So she's got 13, 14, 15 competitors in front of her, and that's not great for her campaign with leading the series and trying to win the series. But in saying that, this is her worst format out of the 6.
And Geordie Mercer just heading into the beach now, and you can see looming behind her is Liz Plumers. So hopefully they'll catch just a little runner, a little wave. They're quite droppy though, aren't they? Here, they'll get dumped.
Yeah, look, she's done a good job. I'm actually happy with how she's gone. That's her worst leg, and she's set up nicely for the ski leg. So you know what, Howie, I think she's done a great job this year.
We are set for a great finish here. We've done the 1,800-metre board, the 3,600 run, the 1,000-metre swim, a 5k ski to go. Hayden, it's getting very tight at the top.
Howie, it sure is. It's great down here. Liz Plumers, she's running past me right now. She's looking strong. Geordie Mercer's going to have to watch her. She's going to be coming hard in that ski. And Courtney Hancock, not far off either. She's really closed that gap up as well.
How far behind is Courtney, and what position is she in, Hayden? She's the best ski paddler out there. She can reel them in if she's within striking distance.
See, I can just see Courtney. I'm pretty sure it's Courtney coming into the wave zone now. I'm not 100%. It's hard to tell with the caps on. Actually, Candice Falzon, she's put her feet down. She's in third. She'll be looking for a big ski paddle. She's got a big support crew here in Perth. She's got a bit of determination. She's going to be going for it hard. And also the young Kellyanne Perkins. Well, she actually had a really bad board start, and she's come right the way through.
Well, Hayden, she had a great run leg. As on screen we can see Plumas is now on the ski going after the leader, Geordie Mercer. So the question is, can the experience of Plumas mow down Geordie Mercer? And also Courtney Hancock, we've seen in previous rounds being so strong on the ski. She set herself up nicely in that swim leg. So, you know, she's going out, but Falzon as having a cracking race. She got so much confidence coming off the first two rounds and has looked so strong. So for her, she's in a great position, and it's great to see her fully fit and really having a go at the front girls.
It was the ski just a week ago at Newcastle, Guy, that we saw her come off, and she finished a minute behind the rest of the field, so she'll be hoping to do better there as one of the girls comes off. But on the right, there is the girl that you love watching, Courtney Hancock. That looks like Kellyanne Perkins, sister Kieran Perkins coming off. But it's Courtney Hancock. You watch her on the ski every time. Talk us through her abilities.
Okay, so she is very upright on the ski. So that's her on the screen right now. So it's very upright. She's got a great, she reaches right out on a stroke. And she really goes in strong with that paddle and twist. That twisting motion that she does, Nick, is using all the big muscles. It's the back and the side muscles that propels the ski forward. What I say to students taking a ski paddling lesson is that your arms do 20% of the work, your back and your side muscles do 80% of it. And it's that twisting motion that gets all the power. And downwind where it's technical, literally there's a chance she could catch the girls in front and win the day.
She paddles like the boys. She has a technique similar to the boys.
She's got a great technique, and Courtney has worked so hard the last couple of years on a ski leg, and it's proven to be a real weapon for her.
Let's hear from the defending series champion.
I was born over here. This is where I first kind of, I guess, started off my life, you know, living here in Perth, and I really enjoy the endurance races. I didn't so much maybe, you know, a few years ago, but over the last, I guess, year or so, I've really enjoyed kind of pushing my body to that, you know, that limit where you get to that, you know, hour or so, and, you know, the body's kind of, you know, feeling like it doesn't want to keep going. I love kind of pushing myself over that limit and seeing where you can go. So this round definitely stood out to me looking at it more so than the others. So yeah, I'm really excited. I really am. I'm not nervous. I don't feel any pressure. I don't feel any of those things. I'm really just looking forward to getting out there and having a good race.
Well, she's a wonderful ambassador for this sport, Guy. A 5-kilometre ski. We'll see the gap shortly. She's already reeling the other girls in. How long will it take for 5K? And can she reel that type of gap in that we're seeing now as we move ahead? There is Elizabeth Plumas next to the first Red Bull jet ski, and in front there is our leader, Geordie Mercer.
Well, I think we're looking at about a minute. The race will take on the ski of 5 kilometres about 20 minutes. So, you know, when you hear a minute, you think, oh, gee, that's a long way. But over 20 minutes, she only really needs to pull up a few seconds every kilometre, and all of a sudden she'll catch up. She is the best in the field at the ski. Geordie Mercer, has she got the pressure being in front, Nick? She's a young girl. She hasn't been this far in front in a major race ever before against the open girls. Yeah. Will she hang on? Has she got belief? And then you've got Plumas, who's in behind her. She's in good form after the last race. Does she believe she can do it? Then you got Falzon, who is fit. What I noticed then with Courtney Hancock was this: a sense of urgency in a stroke, a very good technique, and it looked like she believed she might be able to paddle them down. There was a real sense of urgency in a stroke, and that was very, very strong.
Yeah, she's really digging deep with her technique, Courtney, but you also see the same sort of urgency with Geordie Mercer. She's really putting in a good paddling stroke rate. Not quite the depth that Courtney seems to have on her paddling technique, but gee, she's really getting out there.
Just a more lightweight body. Yeah. So the ski's more about power, and but certainly technique. But now Geordie Mercer's technique's not bad by any means at all. Sitting very upright as we see other competitors coming off the beach at the moment. So we've got they're probably about 2 to 2.5 minutes behind. So Crystal Smith's not in that pack though, so she's not off the beach yet. So here's a pack of girls in the top 10, but it's all on at the front. So there she is. No, well, Crystal Smith's on the ski already. So she's made up a gap in the swim leg, and we'll find out soon exactly where she is, but she's going to try to consolidate in this round and hang on to that black jersey, and she's 12th. So she's in 12th position. So she's come up from about 16th spot when she started the swim length back into 12th. That's a good effort.
She does lead the series by 11 points in front of Elizabeth Plumers. So if she can just sneak her way into top 10, maybe even up to 8th position, she'll hold herself in good stead for those two shorter events as we finish off at Coolum and Noosa.
I think this round's about consolidation for Crystal, Nick. And, you know, I mean, for her, she was never going to win an endurance round. Her running is not like the other girls in endurance.
Especially when you've got 3.6k in a run.
And it was a tough technical run too. There was soft sand in there. The water was coming up and bouncing off that that sand wall that was there at part of the run leg, and that suited Geordie Mercer so much. So it's a real fight in front. Don't think this race is over by any means. There's probably 3 or 4 girls that can still win this. But Crystal Smith, what she needs to do is get in front of as many girls, Howie, as she can, get in a good position and say, you know what, I've walked off the beach today in 7th. That's a good result for me. Let's get to Coolum, let's get to Noosa, let's win those 2 races there, and let's walk away with the series.
And she's been around long enough to know that she starts counting heads out there. She knows where she is in the field. As we travel now with some of the girls up the front, Geordie Mercer at the bottom of the screen, Liz Plumers at the top of the screen, and Liz is about to bridge this gap on Geordie Mercer.
It's on now.
Elizabeth Plumers, she won 4 events last year, didn't win the series. Geordie Mercer looking for her first ever event win. She is holding on in front at the moment. Elizabeth Plumers, Courtney Hancock is coming as well. Stick around as the race unfolds. We'll see who crosses the line after the break. The Ironwoman series from Perth, Western Australia. The girls are heading towards Scarborough Beach in this 11.4k enduro race. Geordie Mercer at the bottom of screen. There she is. She has been leading for the second half of this race, but out to her side at the top of screen is Elizabeth Plumers. It's a bit like the America's Cup here, trying to see who quite has got the lead, but I reckon Liz Plumers has narrowed that gap. It was a minute coming into the swim. It was about 20 seconds coming onto the ski, and now it is all even at the front.
Well, the strength of Plumers has come through. So Geordie Mercer is fighting back, though. So they're going tit for tat on these bumps. So they catch a chop, get in front, and the other girl comes back at her. So it's a real fight now. What normally happens when you get out in front, you sort of don't know your pacing. You think, are they catching me? Are they not catching me? Then they come up on you, and you think, I can go another 5%. So all of a sudden now Geordie Mercer's got to try to hang on.
So why, from a positional point of view, why is Geordie sitting out as far as she is, and then Liz is where she's sitting? Why? And this is Courtney Hancock that we're now looking at. She's in 3rd.
Yeah.
Why is Liz picking a line that's closer to the beach, and why is Geordie out
Well,
deeper?
the chop's actually coming from slightly out to sea on the horizon back into the actual sand of the beach. It's still coming along the coastline, but it comes from the horizon in, so it's a bit of a diagonal. And so Geordie Mercer, in some ways, is in a better position because she can catch those bumps and then turn and run them into the shore, which means that you actually can get a longer ride. So Plumers has come at her and really tried to sort of push and catch up to it, which she's done, but Mercer stayed out the back. So the question is, can Geordie Mercer up that other 5%, Howie, to just hang on to Plumers and just try to fight it out? Because at the moment, she's done all the work to get in front. Plumers has come back, and now there you go, there's the screen. So Geordie Mercer has stepped up. I mean, Plumers has caught up 20 seconds, and by all means should actually go in front of her now. But Geordie Mercer stepped up, and well done to her, because she's fighting for every bit that she's got to try to hang in there and win today.
Halfway through the ski leg, the final of this 4-leg enduro. And Geordie Mercer just getting on a little runner, just narrowing that gap again to Elizabeth Plumers. So she's definitely lifted her stroke rating as Plumers has come up to her guy.
Well, it's not far off an hour now, the Orologio timing piece, 54 minutes as we see the 2 girls in front. We've got Mercer and Plumers, but down the bottom of the screen, we've got Courtney Hancock coming like a train. Falzon in there as well, so she's trying to hang in there, trying to get on the dais in the top 3 position. But look at the rating of Hancock. She is flying. She's probably gapped up she's made up about 30 seconds, maybe 45 on the 2 lead girls. I'm very impressed with Geordie Mercer, Nick.
She's holding
Plumers has come back at her, like come at her and gone, you know what, I'm going to take today.
She's holding a nerve.
And she is holding her position.
Yep, she's absolutely
fighting hard.
her.
This is great for her. Good on you.
But the interesting thing was that Courtney Hancock in the start of this ski was almost 2 minutes behind, 1:58 behind Geordie Mercer. So this has been a sensational paddle as well from Courtney Hancock.
Can I say, this is the coming of age of Geordie Mercer. Right now in this race, I see belief, I see a sense of urgency, and I see someone who's taking on the heavyweights and saying, you know what, I'm the young kid who's just come out of school, but I'm going to have a crack at you and I can beat you. And this is what she's doing right now.
Plumers, Mercer, Hancock, Falzon and Perkins. Obviously a very famous name, Leachy. Mercer, the father Darren and the uncle Dean. You would have had this little girl snapping around your knees as a youngster when you were competing.
I remember her down the beach when I used to race Darren. Darren, one of the great endurance Ironman of all times. He's been a phenomenon in the 80s and the 90s. Was someone that could go all day, and you know the pedigree that has come from that. Geordie Mercer's back in front again. She's actually gone to Plumers and she's in front. So this race is by no means over. You've got Courtney Hancock down the bottom of the screen, and she is flying through the field. That is Falzon on the bottom of the screen. That is Courtney Hancock there on screen, and the two girls are in front. But Courtney Hancock, Nick, has made up an enormous amount of ground.
Now, 4 very different positions in this race in terms of where they've lined themselves up. There will be eventually, when they get close to Scarborough Beach, there will be a buoy that they have to go around. So does that also play into Geordie Mercer's position?
It's about 100 to 150 metres off the beach. It's hard to tell the line that they're taking, but what's happened is either Plumers has come out to Mercer or Mercer's gone into where Plumers was, because they're very close.
Yes.
Courtney Hancock is in closer to shore. Now, I don't know where that turning buoy is, but what we do know is that Courtney Hancock is coming home like a train. She is flying.
38 years of age, Kirsty Holmes is battling away in Perth, Western Australia, heading up towards Scarborough Surf Club. She's been the Australian Ironwoman champion in 1996 and the year 2000, and she's in 5th position. A wonderful effort.
Great ski paddler as well. We've talked about good ski paddlers. She's one of the top 3 in this race. Her technique, that twisting action, keeping a straight arm at the front of the stroke and leveraging those back muscles is just picture perfect.
You look at how far the girls have come since the introduction of the ski to the Ironwoman. I mean, there was a lot of hesitance to the introduction of it, and now they're just flying. You know, they've got the same technique as the guys have got going, and they're paddling so well.
Well, that's we just saw Courtney Hancock on screen, down the bottom of the screen with a jet ski right next to her. She's in 3rd position down the bottom of the screen, and Geordie Mercer is on a runner. And she's come back at Plumers, so it is a dogfight between the two.
They're eyeballing each other.
You can see from that shot where it looked like Geordie was about 8 metres behind how important, as you see Liz now do the same thing, it is to get on those little runners, and all of a sudden 0 becomes 10 metres.
Well, you're joining the dots. You actually, when you get on one, you actually look down the actual swell to look to catch another one. So you look to try to join the dots and try to link them up, and linking them up is something that's very hard to do. You need to be a really, really good ski paddler. Obviously, these guys can do that. And if you can put a few together, there's the gap. So all of a sudden, 2 metres becomes 15, 20 metres. So what Geordie has to do now is go, you know what? I can't let it go, because the elastic band gets stretched, and if you go too far, it breaks. And that's right on the verge of breaking right there. You can't go more than 20, 25 metres.
And you don't want to break and fall back into the elastic band that you're talking about of this young lady, because Courtney Hancock, who's our defending series champion, she is pulling hard to try and rein in Geordie Mercer.
Well, she is raiding the house down. I think she's still, that's Plumers in front of us. So Courtney Hancock is caught up 1:30 from the 2 minutes. That is incredible. She is flying, and she's come right back. So there's Plumers, and there's Hancock behind.
Well, it is a series of runners that Liz Plumers has picked up, and is it too far of a gap, though? I mean, she is flying. You're right, she is flying, Guy, but is it too much of a gap? She's keeping her rating up. She's really trying to trim that ski. Is it too much to catch up?
Well, her rating hasn't stopped whatsoever from when she first started the ski league. They're probably 4 kilometres of 5 kilometres now, K to go or less. So they've been paddling for about 15 minutes of this leg. Not far to go. They can see the buildings of Scarborough, knowing that there's not far to go. So at the moment, is it too far? Who knows? But what I can tell you, though, is Plumers is having a red-hot go at trying to break Geordie Mercer before she gets to that turning buoy to come into the beach. She does not want to have a situation where she has to do a run up the beach.
Elizabeth Plumers is leading the marathon in Perth, Western Australia. You can see her there in the yellow engine swimwear just in front of Geordie Mercer. Courtney Hancock is about another 80 metres back. It looks like the gap is too large for her, 1 hour and 5 minutes in, and Elizabeth Plumers turns towards the beach. Geordie Mercer right on her hammer.
Well, it's only about 200 metres to get to the shore, so there's nothing in it now. So Mercer needs to try to catch a bit of a swell to catch into a wave. So if she can do that, then she can make it into a run to the finish line. But at the moment, Mercer's coming back at Plumas, so it's not over yet. It all comes down to that wave. It's about 2 foot on the beach here at Scarborough, and there is a little wave breaking into the shore. So she's going to be hoping, Howie, to try to catch a wave.
11.4 kilometre race, Guy, and they're separated by about 18 metres at the moment. A sensational finish in WA as Plumas strides towards the beach. She looks like she's on the front of a small runner to take her onto the sand.
Well, this is turning into a wave now, so this will go into the gutter here. She needs to keep the ski straight. Mercer right on her tail. There's nothing in this at all, so she needs to get into the beach here with a clean exit, which he looks to do here. So Plumas off and racing, Mercer in behind us.
Plumas is onto the sand. It's only a short shoot here in Western Australia. She won 4 races last year. She had a tough one at Ports earlier on in the year. She's fought back to do well in Newcastle. And have a look at Elizabeth Plumas coming up the chute. It has been a comprehensive performance. She's smiling now. She's relaxed. Plumas wins the marathon in Perth. Geordie Mercer at 18 years of age comes in second position. Her best finish in the series. A fantastic finish after an hour and 7 minutes.
Boy, oh boy, how good was that? That is the coming of age of Geordie Mercer. There's Courtney Hancock. She's paddled into 3rd place, down a wave, and done a hell of a job. Nick, what a great result for Plumas.
Fantastic race. Congratulations, Liz. Different conditions to what we've seen. It was a real churn it out there marathon day, but some really nice conditions for you to show off your skills.
Oh, when I woke up this morning and saw that there was wind, I was just so thankful. I just didn't want it to be like a massive wash ride, so it was good to use the skills out there as well.
You had to think the whole way through the race though, because Geordie was there. She was ahead of you on the board. She was ahead of you in the swim, so you really had to think about it, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I was just hoping that she didn't get too far in front on that run leg. So, and she was out there in front of the swim, so I could sort of just see her feet, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. At least you've got someone to chase. It makes you work a bit harder, but oh my God, she made me work for it on that ski leg. She was amazing.
Well, we think that you may end up taking over the black jersey, the dreaded black jersey. We'll wait to see where Crystal comes. Congratulations on today. We're going to wander over and chat to Geordie as well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll come over and talk to Geordie. Geordie, congratulations. A real coming of age for you. This is a podium finish for your dads. Don't go away because we want to see you as well. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much. That was definitely a tough race, but I was looking forward to that format, and I mean, to be up there with these girls, it's what I should be doing right now, and I think it's not just me who was through that race. The support crew behind me is just phenomenal, really, and I'd really like to thank my family and friends and the team here, especially Mum and Dad.
You had to hold your nerve though, didn't you? Because you were surrounded by these girls that have been up there, the best in Australia, the best in the world for a long time. You had to hold your nerve, didn't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I led the whole race, so, you know, a little bit of looking over the shoulder, but you've really got to hold that pace and mentally put yourself in a good place to just keep pushing.
Well, as we wait to see Crystal Smith, our leader, come through, Daz, congratulations to you, Coach, but let's put on the dad hat for a minute. You must be pretty proud.
Oh, very proud, yeah.
In terms of, you know, we've had chats about the fact that she just needed to sort of just do the job and stop overthinking about it. What were you thinking when she was leading? Were you thinking maybe she'd overprocess it?
No, we knew that this was going to be her race, and she just had a race plan in her head, and, you know, she knows how to race now, and she just did exactly everything she needed to do. She did in the race, and, you know, she got a 2nd place, and it's fantastic.
You block your ears for a second. I don't want you to get a big head, but Leachy said coming of age for Jordan Mercer.
It was only a matter of time. That's what he said. She had a lot of bad luck. Well, you know, everyone has bad luck, but she had a bit of bad luck at Newcastle, unfortunately, and didn't have a great race. But here we knew we sort of had to improve on that and prove that, you know, that she's got what it takes. So she certainly does.
Good girl, carrying the Mercer name beautifully.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much.
Can I just say hello to all the Noosa crew back home. Thanks, guys.
Coming your way soon, Noosa.
Big Daz just taking over the microphone as Crystal Smith comes into the beach. She's the series leader. She leads Elizabeth Plumas by 11 points coming in today. Elizabeth obviously in 1st position today, so Crystal needs to finish in the top 12, and it'll be tight going down. She's had a stumble too. You can see how important, Leachy, this finish is for her. She wants to contain and maintain that black leader's jersey.
Well, that was Rebecca Creedy in green next to her, so maybe she got in front of her with that stumble, but Crystal Smith today was always going to be a tough day for her. Yeah, there's Creedy coming across the line in front of, and she's tired. That knocked her around. So Smith, it'll be interesting to see exactly where she's come, but has today cost her the black jersey? We'll find out, but it was always going to be a tough day for her And you know what? She tried just as hard as she did at Newcastle, I'm sure.
A tough day for the girls here in Perth, Western Australia. Geordie Mercer with a second position. A breakout result for her, but on top it is Elizabeth Plumas. She was in second coming into the day. After the break, we'll see whether Elizabeth Plumas now leads the series. We saw her. Great shots of Rottnest Island. A great place to go for a visit, and the home of the Quokka. On top, though, is Elizabeth Plumas, 25 points today on the OPSM results in front of the breakout performance from Geordie Mercer. Courtney Hancock in third position, Falzon Holmes, Brodie Moyer, Harriet Brown. And you can see there our series leader, Crystal Smith, in 11th position. She will lose the black jersey. We move through Aaliyah Richardson, Amy Nerthen, Tennille Devine and Elise Bennett. Time now for the full presentation on the beach with Hayden Quinn.
Well, what a race. Hasn't Perth really turned it on for these girls today? Super exciting stuff. The conditions were perfect. It was a great result all round. And coming in at third place, we've got Courtney Hancock. Big round of applause. Presenting the medals today, we have Lisa Harvey, who is the local member for Scarborough. Thank you, Lisa. Courts, how was that? Tough race. Got on the podium. You really needed to kick it up. I got another gear from last week. Are you happy with the result?
Yeah, absolutely. I knew it was always going to be a really hard race. Congratulations to Elizabeth and Geordie. They did awesome today. Coming third, I'm pretty happy. It wasn't quite there, but still really happy to get on a podium, and I guess it beats last week, doesn't it?
That's exactly right. Well done and congratulations. And that takes us to our second place, the young, the gorgeous Geordie Mercer. Geordie, what a race. That was incredible. Right from the start, we know you can board paddle, and you really took it to these girls. You tried to hang on to that lead. Liz just got you in the end, but you must be stoked.
Yeah, I am really happy. I mean, a little bit disappointed that Liz came through at the end there, but it was a great race and some testing conditions.
That's it. Well done. Congratulations. And that takes us to our first place getter, Liz Plumas. Round of applause. Liz, what a great race. It was a real dog-eat-dog race out there. You were saying yesterday this is the sort of racing you love. How did you find it? You came home strong.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying before, I roomed with Crystal and we've been looking at Wind Guru all week, and it's been quite flat leading up, and we were sort of glad that the wind was up this morning so it didn't make it just a wash ride, and sort of use your skills out there as well, and I was just thankful for that.
That's it. Perfect result. Another big step in the right direction for those series points. Just what you want to look forward to in going into the next round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've sort of got 2 rounds to go, and as it's shown throughout the whole series, anything can happen. So I'm glad to get a podium finish, and hopefully I can keep it up for the next 2 rounds. Great work. Thank you very much. Jump up on that podium, and a big round of applause for our top 3 girls.
Well done to Elizabeth Plumas. She's had a second, an 11th and a second, and now her first win of the year in Perth, Western Australia, in front of Geordie Mercer and Courtney Hancock. Series points, there you go. Elizabeth Plumas wins today and now leads Crystal Smith by 4 points. Courtney Hancock, the defending champion, 7 points behind Brodie Moyer. A very consistent year. Harriet Brown also having a great year. Danielle Allen and Geordie Mercer sneaks into the 7th position. Kelly Ann Perkins, at age 19, is into 8th. Aaliyah Richardson, Hayley Baitup and Elise Bennett. You want to see a way to celebrate a great performance. Have a look at Geordie Mercer. This is straight after the presentation. She has got it all. This girl just knocks out the backflip. Lucky not to knock herself out. Great to see her enjoying the performance. Next round, you'll see Geordie Mercer. Guy Leach enjoyed that. Coolum Beach in Queensland, February 12. Always some surf there, so keep an eye out for that one. Elizabeth Plumas, though, has done the job in Western Australia. She has won the race. She leads the series. After the break, though, we'll be joining the big boys in Perth for the Kelloggs Nutri-Grain Ironman.